Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. I appreciate you being a viewer, I appreciate you being a subscriber. Today is a rather eventful day because there's a lot of stimulus news happening as we are nearing the confirmation of a stimulus bill that is expected to pass both the House and the Senate and get signed into law by the President. Remember, this is going to be a $1.4 trillion package, that is the omnibus spending package, and there'll be approximately $900 billion, so a massive $1.4 trillion for the government funding to continue until September of 2021. It's going to be raining money. It's going to be raining money for the government. Look, plenty of raining money. Look at that. $1.4 trillion. Can you hear the cha-ching? $1.4 trillion to continue funding the government until September of 2021, and $900 billion thrown in, which is expected to include $600 to $700 stimulus checks and $300 a week unemployment benefits that were originally supposed to last 4 months but are now expected to last right around 3 months. So again, like I mentioned earlier, we can expect both sides to try and rush to take credit for all this, but something very fascinating is happening as we speak. We know about House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who essentially has been a very powerful force in the Democratic Party for a long time. For the first time, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took a direct shot at House Speaker Pelosi and the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who could end up being the Senate Majority Leader if both the Georgia Senate runoff races on the 5th of January go the way of the Democrats. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Congresswoman from New York, said, I quote, "We need new leadership in the Democratic Party." She said that very bluntly. In fact, we'll actually listen to her. She did an interview yesterday with The Intercept, and we'll actually play that interview so you folks can hear it for yourself. She essentially said in a new interview that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer should no longer lead Democrats in Congress, and complained that the party had failed to, I quote, groom the next generation of younger lawmakers to succeed them. I'm actually going to quote AOC right now. "I do think that we need new leadership in the Democratic Party." She said that, and quite incredible comments from the freshman Congresswoman. And, essentially, Politico calls her the superstar of the party's left wing. And this is the most direct rebuke of the two top Democrats from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And basically, right now, where things stand, I just want our viewers and subscribers to know Chuck Schumer is 70 years old. He was comfortably re-elected as a leader of the Senate Democratic Caucus last month. And House Speaker Pelosi is positioned to be re-elected as a Speaker of the House, formally re-elected as a Speaker of the House in the month of January. Keep in mind that the majority for the Democrats has shrunk since the November 2020 election. So we have the 80-year-old House Speaker Pelosi, the 81-year-old House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, the 80-year-old House Majority Whip James Clyburn, who's a Democrat from South Carolina. So these individuals have held the top 3 leadership positions for the past 14 years. Yep, for the past 14 years. House Speaker Pelosi has indicated that her next term as House Speaker is going to be her last. She has indicated this, but AOC said in an interview that even the party's more conservative members have found it difficult to, I quote, provide viable alternatives to challenge her leadership. I'm going to quote AOC now. "I think one of the things that I've struggled with, and I think that a lot of people struggle with, is that the internal dynamics of the House has made it such that there's little option for succession, if you will." But she did criticize progressives as well, saying that, I quote, "the left isn't really making a plan." And, House Speaker Pelosi is expected indeed to retire. And she said there are folks more conservative than even Speaker Pelosi who are willing to kind of fill that void in leadership. And she said, "The hesitancy that I have is that I want to make sure that if we're pointing people in a direction and we have a plan. And my concern, and this I acknowledge as a failing, as something that we need to sort out, is that there isn't a plan. How do we fill that vacuum? Because if you create that vacuum, there are so many nefarious forces at play to fill that vacuum with something even worse." Fascinating comments from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. In fact, let's listen to her. We'll provide you with a link to all the reporting that we use, including her full interview in The Intercept, so you can listen to the entire hour-long interview. Just click on the link in the description section below and you'll be able to hear what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, what the Congresswoman said. Let's take a look at the first segment with the Congresswoman, where she says there are no viable alternatives, which is why if there are any challenges, it collapses there's a lack of grooming of the next generation of leadership. Big statements from AOC, which I'm sure, 100% sure, Republicans will also seize on. Let's roll this segment and listen to the audio interview, fascinating audio interview with AOC as we enter the next chapter of politics in our country. Let's listen to this interview.
I think it's easy for someone to say, oh, well, why don't you run? But the House is extraordinarily complex, and I'm not ready. It can't be me. I know that I couldn't do that job. And so even conservative members of the party who think Nancy Pelosi is far too liberal for them don't necessarily have any viable alternatives, which is why whenever there's a challenge, it kind of collapses. And that is, I think, the result of just many years of power being concentrated in leadership with a lack of, real grooming of a next generation of leadership. And so when you have really talented members of Congress that do come along, the opportunities to lead are so few and far between that they leave. That the kind of path of ascension, if you will, for a lot of members looking around, both progressive, conservative alike, is to run for a statewide office and get out of there. And so what we're really dealing with, which is frankly something that we're not only dealing with last term or this term, but also the speaker has indicated that, she may be looking at transitioning and leaving at some point. And the left isn't really, making a plan for that either. So I do think that it's something that we really need to think about.
And if you thought that was interesting, wait till you listen to the next segment. AOC was specifically asked, do Pelosi and Schumer need to go? To which her response basically was yes. Fascinating comments from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Let's listen to what she had to say. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Once again, you'll get a link to the entire interview in the description section below. Full credit to The Intercept for this interview. But let's listen to what AOC had to say.
They pass record-shattering military expenditures, but can't get $1,200 to suffering Americans. And I know you've been on the right side of this, but I'm asking, are you ready to say Pelosi and Schumer need to go?
I mean, I think so. I mean, and the question is, like this year, for example, the hesitancy that I have is that I want to make sure that if we're pointing people in a direction, that we have a plan. And my concern, and this I acknowledge as a failing, as something that we need to sort out, is that there isn't a plan. How do we fill that vacuum? Because if you create that vacuum, there are so many nefarious forces at play to fill that vacuum with something even worse. And so the actual sad state of affairs is that there are folks more conservative than even they are willing to kind of fill that void. And so what I'm looking at right now is what steps do we take, both in structural changes, because a lot of this is not just about these two personalities, but they are also about the structural shifts that these two personalities have led in their time in leadership, the structural shifts of power in the House, both in process and rule, to concentrate power in party leadership of both parties, frankly, but in Democratic Party leadership to such a degree that an individual member has far less power than they did 30, 40, 50 years ago. And so, the answer is yes. The answer is we need to shift power. We need to make sure that we have a transition of power in the leadership of the Democratic Party, because I think that the hypocrisy you point out is so animating. Frankly, it's a huge reason why I ran for office and ran against a Democrat, because that hypocrisy can be just so rage-inducing for any person. For me personally, it was when I was waitressing and I would hear Democrats talk about why the Affordable Care Act was so amazing all the time and how this is the greatest thing ever and the economy's doing wonderfully. And frankly, it is the same trick that Trump pulls, which is, people touting the Dow as a measure of economic success when we're all getting killed out here. And so, do we need new leadership of the Democratic Party? Absolutely. But how do we ensure that when we shift, we don't even move further to the right? And that's the kind of thing that keeps me up when I think about what we're going to do moving towards the future.
That's it, everybody. Let me know what you thought of this fascinating interview with Congresswoman AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, about the future of the Democratic Party, whether you think House Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer should continue to lead the Democrats. Quite fascinating that AOC would come out and just say this quite openly. I'm confident there have been rumblings about this in the Democratic Party, but for a freshman superstar to say it out in the open does indeed open up a can of worms. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, you'll find a link to the entire interview in the description section below. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that I greatly appreciate you. The goal of the Ignition Time channel is to give you the truth wherever it might lead us. Today seems to be an encouraging day. I'm going to continue to give you updates as they evolve. But I want you to know that this channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country. It's about the economy, and it's about your money. This is not just a stimulus updates channel. This is not just a channel to give you information on unemployment benefits. I have bigger goals. I have bigger aspirations for our viewers and subscribers. I want to lead you forward. I promise you, I will always tell you the truth wherever it might lead us. If I can, I will move mountains for you. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. This is some information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time, most days of the week. Now, I want you to know that for us, it's not about being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about being American. This channel is not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I want us to focus on helping each other. I want us to focus on what is best for our personal economy. And I think we can do that when we start to understand how the country works, how the economy works, and how our personal finances work. We need to understand how to make more money, how to save money, and then most importantly, how to invest money. That is what I will teach you on this channel. If you want to get breaking news and alerts from us, important information on what's happening in the world around us, important information on how to make sense of all the madness surrounding us, and important information on how to make more money, how to save money, and how to invest money, get your cell phone out. Send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. You'll get added to our SMS alerts list. Now keep in mind that you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email alerts list moving forward. You'll get important news and information, and if we ever release a coaching program or any kind of educational program, you'll be the first to get notified. No pressure, and also you can opt out of the SMS or the email alerts at any time. So, that's entirely up to you. Now, also, speaking of alerts, YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. Sometimes they get delayed. This sort of stuff happens. So all I'm asking you to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you can visit the home page of our channel and then check out any of our videos, any of our playlists at any point in time that you want. No pressure about that. So make sure you bookmark our channel. Now, you can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. We release exclusive news and content specifically for our Instagram community. So make sure you follow us there. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is the same as the Instagram handle, ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So follow us on Twitter as well, and you'll get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. One of the things I'm personally very proud of is not just the content on our channel, but the collective wisdom of our community. This is very important. The collective wisdom of our community. Comment below. You'll make some new friends. Our community is very intelligent, very respectful, very bipartisan. I welcome a healthy debate. I welcome both points of view as long as we are respectful and as long as we appreciate another person's perspective, because then you can learn from other individuals. Ignorance is often mixed in with anger, with frustration, with finger pointing. We are here to learn so we can improve our lives. So participate in the community. You'll make some new friends. Our community is intelligent. It's growing. And it's bipartisan. So I think you'll benefit a lot. Also, please share this video with friends and family, because that tells the YouTube algorithm that you found this content helpful. So please make sure you share the video as well. As always, you'll find a link in the resources section below, in the description section below, with all our resources. So you can check out all our resources at any point in time that you want. So definitely check out the links in the description. Finally, please click like, please subscribe, please ignite that notification button after you click subscribe. First click subscribe and then that little bell icon, just gently tap it and ignite the like button. Smash that screen. Oh no. No, don't smash the screen. I just like playing with that. I'm fortunate to have a phenomenal team of video editors that work with me. Joseph and Jeanette, I appreciate you. So I want you to know that you should click like, please, click subscribe, enable notifications, and then that would mean a lot to us. That tells the YouTube algorithm you found this content beneficial. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye. Don't forget to click like. Don't forget to click subscribe. Bye.